got a new mic! Okay, so this is the Saitek Megamaster 2, which is an arcade stick I had never saw before in my life, but basically I saw it sitting in an independent game shop, and when I got a little shot of it before buying it, I noticed that this stick part was really stiff. I mean, I could not get it moving at all. Basically it gave off the sound of the Iron Giant scraping his back with a big rusty spoon, but there was something giving me a vibe. It was when I sort of moved it over to this sort of like section. It wasn't quite the same feel as you'd get off a micro switch stick at the time, but I could hear a click and it made me think, well, that doesn't seem right. It seems as if there's a wee bit more to this stick than meets the eye. So I bought it and I brought it home and I opened it, and holy fuck, it looked like the inside of a Glasgow brothel. Honestly, it was so fucking dirty, it's unreal. So I attacked it with some WD-40, and an interesting fact about WD-40 is that if you spray it on the deceased, then you can bring them back. But the problem is you have to sacrifice your arm and your leg because that's equivalent exchange. So we might as well talk about some of the features of the Megamaster 2, and interesting point, what happened to the Megamaster 1? Did the Megamaster 2 kill it for fame and glory and power? Maybe, I don't know. I tried to look it up on the internet and a couple of sticks kind of came up, but I don't know if they are actually the same product or if, you know, it's a bit of a grey area. But anyway, the features of this stick are 6 buttons, of which 3 do the same thing as the other 3, because these 3 are just turbo buttons, which I don't know why they didn't just make it a 6-button arcade stick, but whatever. You've got micro switched arcade stick here. You've got micro switched buttons, of which have a massive flaw. They are actually micro switches, but the problem with them is that there's that much space in between the micro switch and this plastic button that it doesn't really feel like you're getting that sort of tactile feedback. It's weird, like there's a massive spring in there and then a tiny little micro switch away underneath there, attached to the board, and it just feels like a wasted opportunity. They might as well have stuck proper arcade switches in there, but I mean, that's me just being a little bitch, as I usually am with these sort of things. But anyway, over to the left you've got a wheel for your turbo, and that affects how fast these fire. You've got a switch for slow-mo mode, which I've never really understood why you would want it continually pausing for ever and ever and ever. It just seems like a bit of a wasted feature, but hey, you might want to use it, and it's certainly there. And you've got 2 start buttons, of which I have no idea why there's 2 start buttons. Maybe people just like start buttons, I have no bloody idea. So this is basically just a quick review of this stick that I found. If you find it out there in the wild and it's specifically cheap, then I would pick it up. Otherwise, you might want to try and get an actual official Megadrive arcade stick with the micro switches in it, because I've heard that the build quality is a lot better. This thing is quite light. It has some like weights in the bottom of it, but you'll see that if you kind of go frantic on this thing, it's going to just slide about. So I would advise trying to get one of the Japanese made official Megadrive ones, but if you find this for cheap, then it's quite an interesting find and I would probably pick it up. I mean, I did pick this up, so it is worth buying if it is cheap enough. But yeah, anyway, I'm starting to ramble and it's getting dark outside, and this was a quick review of the Saitek Megamaster 2, and I'll see you for another video sometime soon.